What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross Present. The year I said a podcast, brainchild of my child. I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. We are still expressing with our full capabilities until they might want us in correctional facilities. And as always, I am rocking with the best. Introduce yourself to the folk.
Tigers flat footing and pure fuckery. I am that. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good, having a good weekday, year, and all that good stuff. And if you're watching on the tube, please subscribe, share with your friends, enemies, dogs, pets, whatever, school bus, camp counselor, whatever you gotta do. And please subscribe too. We appreciate it. And thank you for listening. And let's get it.
All right, so we are gonna start off with good news. Good news. One preliminary good news. I haven't had a chance to dig deep yet, but preliminary good news is if you are a college student in debt, Uncle Joe done went and canceled some more student debt. I mean, we don't really support either major party around here, but we do support when good things happen. Even though it should have happened a long time ago, Obama, everybody else, but I gotta give it up to Uncle Joe. He is the first president I can think of in a long time, probably since before my lifetime, that is trying to address poverty, that is trying to address the income gap, that is trying to address student loan debt, which is huge, 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 huge. So props out to them. Sorry, I don't have a lot of details, but I did see that headline, just didn't get a chance to read it. Good news though. Colorado understood the assignment. Colorado has in fact ended qualified immunity as earlier this month. That is gone. That is bad news for you pigs. Great news for the rest of us citizens, particularly those of us with a little bit of melanin or more. I couldn't quite verify, but it's also stated that they have said they will toss out a pig's testimony if they turn off the body camera. A certain co-host of mine has always said, what good is a body camera if you can turn it off? Well, guess what, piggies? If you turn it off, testimony might get thrown out. I am hoping that piece is true. But Colorado first state to do it, get rid of qualified immunity. Listen, you and I have talked about this. I told you, George. I told you, not George. I told you Chauvin was going to fry. He has fried. I told you that was the beginning of the end. It is slowly but surely becoming the part where this is the beginning of the end of policing as we know it. Most of us are happy. There are certain delusional people, not just white people, but delusional people who still think, oh my God, what are we going to do if there's no police? Even that argument is getting old. But thank you for finding that article, sir. Colorado ending qualified immunity. So do you believe me now? Things are changing. I'm not saying tomorrow everything's going to be good, but I told you, Chauvin was going to fry 15 years. Chauvin's going to
fry. I agree with you when you said that. I said he had to fry. He was the face of the George Floyd stuff. If he didn't fry, somebody else is going to fry. There's probably going to be buildings and innocent civilians, but that part didn't surprise me. But shout out to Colorado. They're just on pace with stuff, free weed. You can smoke whenever you want to. Now the pigs can't turn off the body. Yeah, oh yeah. I still don't understand why. What is the point of a body cam? Like you said, if you can turn it off, because obviously it's there because you can't be trusted. So since you can't be trusted, why the hell are they able to turn it on and off? That kind of defeats the purpose. That's stupid. But hopefully they keep their word. And if they do turn it off, they throw out their testimony because you already know they're going to do something stupid. It's just in their nature. So once they do something stupid, hopefully they get, what's the word? Maybe not punished, but held accountable for their actions. So yeah, shout out to Colorado, man. Getting high and saying goodbye to the cops. Yes, sir.
Lord.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, Now, again, I do want to be fair because remember when we talk about COVID here, we try to be fair and objective and see it from both sides. Body cams are actually there. Here's the fun part. The body cams are actually there to show that they did their job. It's not there because we don't trust them. That's not the evidence here. The purpose of the body cam is to be like, hey, I arrested this person. This person went for my gun. I had to kill them. See, look, the body camera shows this is what happened.
That kind of goes into the line of not being trusted. Because if you were trusted, truly trusted, we wouldn't have to look at it footage because we can take your word for it. But we all know we can't do that anymore.
Well, we have technology. That's the thing. We have technology. You don't see, look, you don't even have to trust me anymore. You can look at the footage and it shows everything I said was true.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I can't even be sarcastic with you right now. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But that was the point. Like, so no one would have to question what law enforcement is doing. If you had questions, the body cam footage shows you. There it is, right? But we all know how that's gone in real life. It's gone horribly wrong.
Left.
We just have killings with better, since Rodney King, and luckily Rodney didn't die, but that kind of sparked all this off. We just have better footage of getting our asses whooped and killed. But and here's the thing: the reason, and this is the part where it gets. There's body cam footage of a lot of things that these pigs do that seems to be okay. Case in point, the video you sent me. Young gentleman in Utah, Michael Chad Reinhold, was taken into custody, West Valley City Police Station in Utah. Now, a real breakdown, you can Google this. I'm honestly not sure where we're going, not we, but where this is going. But I will always go back to what Chris Cuomo said. When more white kids get killed, things will change. This is not us trying to highlight, hey, look, we found another white kid that got killed. This is also highlighting, more importantly, one, I need certain white people to wake up and realize your whiteness doesn't always save you, and the police are a problem. This young man's girlfriend called the police because he told her he had taken a lot of pills, about 8 or 9 pills, and was drinking. And it seemed like he kind of wanted to end it all. If you take 8 or 9 pills and you get drunk, you probably kind of either want to numb the pain for a while or permanently. Pigs come to give him a breathalyzer. He's way over the limit. Okay, cool. He is drunk for show. Drunk for show. Possibly suicidal. They get him back to the police station. Fire department comes. They check his vitals. All of his vitals are normal. Now, why wouldn't they be? He just took some pills and had a lot to drink. He's not going to have anything vitally wrong with him. Forgiveness to the medical community if I'm off on that one, but it would make sense that his vitals are normal. But scuffle ensues. He allegedly, we've heard it way too many times. Got my gun, got my gun, got my gun. And a pig yells, "You're about to die, friend," and kills him.
Headshot, like a zombie land or some shit.
Oh, wait. And here's the real fun part. It's all on body cam. Here's the more fun part. The FOP, the fuckery of police, Fraternal Order of Police, support the execution.
You got my gun.
How you? Okay, so brutal. I've never been drunk. I've never drank like ever, so I can't relate to being drunk. I can only relate to what I understand biochemically that alcohol does. It slows your reflexes. Now, are there angry drunks that want to fight? Absolutely. But are you coherent enough to think when you're drunk off your ass, let me grab this cop's gun while I'm handcuffed with behind my back. How does that? If you grab a cop's gun with being cuffed behind your back, who you gonna shoot? You gonna shoot yourself in the Achilles tendon?
Shoot yourself
So,
in the
so,
back, like Ricky.
so, I and in all the videotape, the cops are being real assholes to him as well. Like, you don't. It's essentially someone else that has died over a traffic stop. And this is where you don't need pigs at all. And we've said this time and time again. If someone is having a mental health crisis, you don't need law enforcement. You don't need the pigs here. It's not a crime. He wasn't loud, belligerent, wasn't breaking shit, just having a moment. And if you don't take that many pills and have that much to drink, that moment is probably one hell of a moment, but you ain't hurt anything other than yourself. How do we go from that to you're about to die, friend?
I forgot, what is the place that was in New York City that they said for mental breakdowns and stuff like that, they're gonna call social workers and not the police?
I believe it was.
Was it
I
New
hope
York?
it was the world's greatest city. But I know what you're talking about. I forgot which city it was.
Well, they need to adopt that nature everywhere else, because, like you said,
Nationwide.
if he was, huh?
Nationwide. You're right.
Yeah. So it's like you said, he's clearly having a moment. If you took that many pills and you drunk off your ass, something's not going right. Something's not clicking right. So instead of calling the pigs, they should have called some social workers or whatever, psychiatrists, whatever, to hope talk them down and see what's the problem, and hopefully they can find a solution. Because as we found out, the pigs are never a solution. And I just want, like, are people just this inherently evil? Like, I hate to use the term that my mentor and my idol use, because devils come in all forms and they look like you and me sometimes too. But that's some devil ass shit, man.
Yes and no.
Like, what? Like, he's clearly impaired. What, like you said, he's already handcuffed. What damage can he do outside of shooting himself? Unless he just John Wick with it and can aim with his hands behind his back. Like, what? Like, what? I don't know what. He didn't have to die for that. And like you
No,
said, they was already being assholes to him, so clearly they was itching to do something. They just wanted an excuse. And that's why I look at it, like, they was waiting for somebody to do something stupid. And fortunately, this young man lost his life, and I didn't hear about it until 2 years later. So I don't know why all these. I'm sorry. Last thing. I don't know why all these deaths that I'm hearing happened 2 years ago, and I'm starting to hear it now. So it's like, how many people did y'all kill? That's not even black. Did y'all kill? Like, what's the number? Because why am I hearing about all this shit that we talked about these last couple shows now? And some of this stuff happened a year, 2, 3 years ago. So it's like, I don't, man. This is just getting sad and numbing, man. It's just sad and numbing, which is not good. But yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not numbing. It is sad on its face, obviously. But what it should do, and this is what I'm hopeful for, is what it should do is start to turn the narrative. Remember, the narrative is the police prevent crime. We need police. How can we protect ourselves out the police and blah, blah, blah. Which in and of itself is somewhat classist and borders on racist. It's an interesting intersection when you start to break that down, right? What we're seeing here is, and it goes back to what you've said. If this is what we're seeing now, imagine what's going on that we're not seeing. Well, a lot of the not seeing is coming back up. And I'm hoping what this will do is, no. They've been monsters and everything has been covered up. I go back to the Quan McDonald in Chicago. He was essentially executed, and we didn't, and the Chicago PD and higher ups, Hiram Emanuel, sat on it for years. This isn't just certain things don't just happen in a vacuum. It's not just your average street pig doing dirt. Certain cover-ups require higher ups. You don't just I'm walking the streets of Chicago, I kill this kid, and then no one knows it for 2 years unless I got the help of higher ups, public officials, people you voted for. So I'm hoping with all of this coming up, it starts to change the narrative. Because ultimately, on his face, this young white kid, from what I can tell, had a mental breakdown, a traffic stop. Now that's the thing. No, it was suspicion because I was paying attention. It was suspicion of DUI because he was drunk off his ass, but they couldn't prove he drove there. So if you can't prove I drove, you can literally arrest me for suspicion because you thought I drove. And we got to start looking at some of these laws on the books too. Like, so you thought I drove here. Because ultimately, if I'm just sitting on a park bench drunk, what you got? Nothing. I'm just a drunk dude on the park bench.
Public intoxication.
Probably that. It's you know what I'm saying? It's all these laws. And it goes back to the article we talked about numerous times about how you don't need the pigs at all. The average American commits 3 felonies a day. They don't even know it. 3. Average American commits 3 felonies a day and they don't even know it. But that goes to all these stupid ass laws on the books. But this is how do you go from public suspicion of DUI to dead? And the fraternal order of pigs, the fuckery of pigs, agrees with this. This is why qualified breeding must end. This is why the most notorious gang, the pigs, must be broken, and this is why that union must go bye-bye. The FOP needs to go bye-bye. It's just that simple. The whole thing is on its surface there to protect them. That it doesn't. It protects them from the shit that they do, not the shit that shit they do to us, not shit that's done to them.
Right.
But it's nauseating, and I don't know. We are seeing every now and again the media does something, and I'm like, because I get it. Everything's an agenda now. It's agenda. But the fact that we're seeing more and more white people getting done wrong by these pigs, it doesn't make me happy. But I do hope it changes the narrative and we gain more allies. Because as long as we see white cop, black person, we think it's racial. And the problem is, well, root out the racist pigs. No. That's not the only problem. Nope. The pigs themselves are the problem.
Power hungry, baby. Judge Dredd, like I said, that's the nickname I give him. Judge, jury, execution. It's a power thing, and they can get away with 99% of shit, and we're slowly raising the stakes that maybe next year will be get away with 90%, and the year they get away with 80, and then hopefully they won't get away with nothing. But it's a slow process. It's a slow burn. It's all right though. We'll get there.
And see, the thing is, you got to watch the language, and this is the difference between the federal level and the state level. I took some time. I went through the George Floyd policing bill. It absolutely has teeth. Here's the caveat. It has teeth from what I read on the federal level. So if the feds kill you, if the feds harass you, we got problems. Doesn't do a whole lot on the state and local level. And that was the key with what I read about Colorado. That is all across the board. If you are a pig in Colorado, this means you. State, federal, state trooper, your local beat cop, all of it. Qualified immunity going for all of you. And that's what also trips me out though. That's the part about why the big rub about not passing George Floyd policing bill. It's the federal cops. Your regular state racist cop is still going to beat your ass and get away with it current day. But that's a whole nother conversation. All right. Moving on, we have a warning and we have advice from New Orleans. But warning first. I saw the face. I saw... oh God, I can barely get this out. Okay. Um, the FDA warns on potential Johnson Johnson COVID-19 vaccine link to rare disorder. This is coming from our buddies at Fox News. Why am I not shocked? But apparently, as I'm gonna get the date right here if I can. This is of course coming from Fox News. This is from 2 days ago. So apparently 3 days ago, I'm sorry, July 12th, July 12th, 2021. FDA announced a new warning on the Johnson Johnson COVID-19 vaccine and a possible link to Julian Barr or Barre. I apologize if I'm butchering that. A rare autoimmune nerve disorder. The agency revised the vaccines and company fact sheets to reflect an increased risk of the disorder following vaccination. The warning comes after about 100 preliminary reports of this disease against a backdrop of about 12.5 million Johnson Johnson doses administered. FDA said in the statement Monday. This is coming from the feds, folks. It's coming from the FDA. Total 95 cases were serious and involved hospitalization and one death. Oh, the FDA stopped short of pinning a causal relationship between the vaccine and the rare disorder. And I quote, although the available evidence suggests an association between the Johnson vaccine and increased risk of GBS, it is insufficient to establish a causal relationship. We talked about this. So let's play it fair. Let's play it fair. 12.5 million vaccines, only 100 cases reported. 95 of those 100 were serious, required hospitalization, so that's 95%, but only one death. So 12.5 million in shots, one death. 1 in 12.5 million is not saying anything, really. But the FDA wants to issue a warning of an increase. You first. You first.
Pfizer gang, baby. Pfizer gang. Shots. But 20 plus years selling Johnson & Johnson. I started out as a baby face monster.
Really?
Shout out to Push. But I don't know what it's just like one of those. I know you don't watch TV anymore, but when you had TV, like you see one of those commercials where you have a problem and then they list all the side effects that seem way worse than the problem you're trying to solve. This is like one of those cases. Like I'm trying to vaccinate myself for a 1%, 2% death rate. And you're telling me, yes, it's 112 million, but I have to even concern myself with another disease or another something that might be worse that I'm trying to treat for or protect myself for. It's like, I mean, and also we have to trust what we're being told as usual, because this wouldn't work without trust, and we got to believe what our government and officials are saying, that it's only 100 cases and no one else has got it yet. Only, yeah. So if you trust what's being told to you, then that's a good 100 out of 12.5 million. Those are good odds. I don't know the percentage for that odds because I'm bad at math, but it seems like some good odds. But I don't know. It sounds like a broken horse. Like, do what's best for you at this point, man. That's all I would say. Just do what's best for you, and don't brag about or trying to make somebody else feel bad if you're on one side or the other. Because two extremes is not good either way.
Ding, ding, ding.
So do what's best for you. But I don't like the mods because if I got it, I probably would be one of those people 0.1203% to get that shit. So I was like, I'm all the way good. I don't know what else to say, dog. This is just like I said, I don't believe what's being told to me. And then also, if I put on my hat and be like, okay, I believe everything's being told to me, and there's only 100 people, well, that's 100 people now. So we don't know what the hell is going to happen in the next 5 weeks, a month, year, 2 years, 10 years. We don't know this because this was Operation Warp Speed. So the science is being sciencey right now. Like you're being experiments on right now. The data being collected is being collected right now. This isn't years and years of experimentation and what's the word? Yeah. Research? This isn't years of practice or whatever, or trials. Yes, years of trials. The trial is right now. You guys are the test subject. So even if I do believe this, the numbers are probably going to grow because we don't know how this affects your body from years from now, because this hasn't been out for years. So that's all I'm gonna say. I've been talking too damn much. Go ahead. I'm gonna throw you the lob off the backboard, baby boy.
All right. Normally I'd say Karl Malone, but he's a trash human, so we can't Karl Malone. We're gonna say Sean Kempit. We're gonna Peyton and Sean Kempit. Rain Man time. All right. You kind of took everything I mentioned, and here's the thing. Everything I was gonna say, but you have to ask, and as I've told you and tried to mold you, and I gotta say, I'm gonna make this personal moment. I'm very proud of your thought process. I've told you to question everything, even myself as a child, and you've done so. And that's the thing. When you sit back and ask questions, you have to, even objectively with this, you have to say, well, where do I stand? If you start from a blank slate and just look at what's being presented, you're going to be presented with a choice of, do I believe what I'm being told? You're going to be presented with the choice of, which risk am I willing to take? Because on the surface, all of the data suggests take the vaccine. And that's the honest to goodness truth. Every bit of data that is being presented, keywords being presented, is saying take the vaccine. We have seen 95 to 98% of people who die now are unvaccinated. We are seeing, yes, there are side effects, but they are minuscule. Is much nastier. I was listening to the radio yesterday, because again, don't have TV. Listen to the radio, listen to Left Wing, and again, that's an issue. Media should not be one side or the other, but another argument. Listening to listening to CNN. I was actually listening to CNN yesterday. And everyone, some well-known doctor with 19 letters behind his name was explaining how the original COVID, you only had a risk of infecting 2 or 3 people. This new Delta variant, you have a risk of infecting 8 or 9 people. And it's so much nastier. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the problem is my real life. The problem is my real life. The problem is, listen, I'm going to speak my truth. I live in Texas, okay? The world cringed when Texas decided, you know what? We don't need no more masks. We're good. You know what? We're just going to open everything. We're good. This back in March. This is officially in March, but anyone here knows folks have been loose with this mask thing since last year. I've been back in my gym since last year. So when the world was like, oh, God, Texas took the mask off, they're all going to die. We didn't. Absolutely didn't. And I have not been sick one little bit. Not once. That's my truth. Given a couple of my professions, yes, I have been around people. All of those people have not had masks on. Do I know if they're vaccinated or not? Have no idea. I'm not asking your business like that.
Right.
So it's just one of those, here's what I'm being told, here's what I'm actually living, right? So this is present day weighing out. But everything says take the vaccine. Now, from maybe even, I know, I'd have to say it's still objective. when you understand history, when you have these quote unquote celebs, these celebs talking about we understand the history of experimentation on black people, but there is no but, sir. There is reasonable cause to pause. There's reasonable cause. I'm spitting bars. There's reasonable cause, you know, pause for the cause. No, it's cause for the pause. There's reason for that. There's Tuskegee, Henrietta. We've gone down the list, and these are the things we know about. So I have to weigh objectively, do I believe what's being presented? Even I believe what's being presented. This has what? An 8-month, 1 year runway? So while there's 100 cases right now and only one death out of 12 million, that's today. Like you said, who knows what shows up in a year, in a month? We don't. So COVID and die horribly, as everyone keeps saying, and be on a ventilator or whatever's in that vaccine. It's still a virus.
Sounds like a long
regardless of highly contagious. Your body has a way of helping you fight off viruses and everything else. It's called boost your immune system. I'm going to trust nature on this one and boost my immune system. So there's that. But good old New Orleans, boy. In case you need an incentive, in case you need a reminder, you'll find your brother once you vax that thing up. Give it up for Juvenile. Okay,
you're
all right.
good when you vax that thing.
Vax that thing up. Okay, we cannot let this slide. We cannot let this slide. You understand where I rep. You understand what I rep when it comes to hip hop. As if I needed another reason to say Southern rap is mostly trash, somewhere in his rabbit ass mind, Juvenile, of Cash Money fame, late 90s, taking over for the 9-9. And that was pretty much the end of Good View Hip Hop. But anywho, yep, sorry, Southern rap fans, be mad. We can argue this one out. Don't have that comment section if you want to, though. I'm gonna fry you. Griselda. But okay, somewhere Juvenile from Cash Money fame made a classic Back That Ass Up. I still think that song is vastly overrated. I do understand the musicianship and New Orleans bounce influence in it, so I respect that. But whatever. But now, apparently, someone approached him and Manny Fresh and said, "Hey, give us a hand. Get the word out. Why don't you make a vaccine song?" And this cat then took Back That Thing Up and turned it into Vax That Thing Up. I thought it was a joke until I went to YouTube.
Bars.
And it's like the way they selling it is like, so vax that thing up as if sex is contingent upon having a vaccine. Not getting tested, not condoms. Oh, you vaccinated? Bet. Let's get it on. Oh boy. Your thoughts? When I sent that to you, what'd you think?
I mean, this is one of the rare times I usually defend the South. I can't defend this. I don't know what. Man, we ain't heard you since early 2000s, man. You come back with this shit, backs that thing up. That's real clever. Like, you changed a couple words to your already song that's a million years old. Like, wow.
But it's a classic. And this is how this, boys and girls, is how to ruin a classic 101. Continue.
I mean, I don't. Like I said, either war scenario is bad. Either someone paid you to do this and you did it, so you kind of sold out, or you did this for free. I don't know which one's worse. Because at least you can say I got paid, so that's why I did it. But if you did this for free and nobody came up to you like, "Yo, we try and push this vaccine. I need you to remix one of your top songs ever." But all right, bet I got you. If you woke up this morning like, you know what? I'm gonna record Vax that thing out. It's gonna be a hit. I'm going to persuade all the people who don't want to take it now. Yeah. So I said so. So I don't know which one's worse. So either way, just
I'm dancing in my head to it. Don't mind me.
just go back to what hole you came from, please. Go back to the hole. Just go back. Underground, whatever. Producing beats, something else. Just stop. Stop making songs. Stop it. Stop it.
New Orleans, you gotta take that L. Y'all need this new joint. I think I told you it was Jay Electronica, and I forgot already, but it's dope. But y'all gonna need Jay Electronica to drop a real album to get this L off New Orleans. Y'all gonna need it. You gotta take this L. I'm sorry. The same way New York gotta take the L for DMC and his goofy ass vaccination song, and New York gotta take a ugly L. Here's looking at you, Brooklyn, for Spike Lee and his Vax the Block. Vaccinate the block. New Orleans, y'all gotta take this L. I'm so sorry. Share the shout voice. You gonna take this L. You gonna take this L. Oh boy. Vax that thing up. Man, listen. If LL Cool J is something, I need the around the way girl that's vaccinated or I don't know, cannabis third round vaccination knockout. I don't know. We don't need nothing else. Please.
They're gonna get Metallica next. Watch.
Hey, stop that. That ain't even funny.
Watch. Just watch.
That ain't even funny. That ain't even funny.
Stop playing. Watch. Metallica gonna come out. Vaccination.
That's not even funny, man. Stop. That ain't funny. Yo, that ain't even funny. Oh my god, Slipknot with a whole bunch of vaccination masks. Like,
you got needles in your mask. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay. Alrighty, so on to slightly more serious and concerning things. There's a widely circulating video now of, just Karen's gonna Karen. I'm gonna let you Jeter this thing, man. Lead it off. Please explain.
I said Karen was in was it Victoria's Secret?
Yep.
And attacking and harassing this this sister. And before and after that, she conveniently said before she had her mental breakdown, I don't want to be recorded my breakdown, and then proceed to break down. I mean, me knowing some people who actually had breakdowns, I don't think they care about being recorded at the moment, nor do they plan to break down. It's just something that happens. So, I mean, I can go the typical route, like how dangerous Karens and white lady in distress are, Emmett Till, other people, but it's just sad how much of an act they put on to play the victim when the whole time they're the aggressor, the aggravator. So thank God we have camera phones, because if something would have happened to that sister because her acting worked, even though it was terrible acting, you were like a fucking child sitting there shaking on the ground. Like you're a grown ass woman. Stand up. What's wrong with you? But it's just sad how dangerous that situation can be. Thankfully, other people were watching and she was recording and nothing happened to her. But what I always say on the show, there's nothing worse than what did I say on the show? Oh shit.
Nothing worse than white woman's tears.
Yeah, nothing worse than a white woman in danger. A white woman in tears, like you said. So like I said, I'm just thankful nothing happened to his sister. And y'all need to take acting coaches, acting classes, because your acting skills, they're starting to fall off a little bit. They used to be better back in the day because it actually worked. But now it's not really working. And if anything, it's making you look worse because people start finding out where you live, your family, and all that extra shit. So it's like, yeah, you can get fired for this. People can threaten you, your home, your family, and all that. So I hope it was worth it. and you're just looking dumb on the internet, and that will never be taken down. So you're just going to be an asshole on the internet forever. So yeah, that's all I really got to say. It's sad, and thankfully, no one got hurt. I really wouldn't have cared if she'd have got hurt, but thankfully, the sister didn't get hurt. So that's a good thing. So yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, you touched on it, and it's all right. Warning: this is the part where people might say, "Oh, he's going off the deep end." It goes back to what you said. White women's tears have proven deadly for Black people in this country's history. It goes from Emmett Till, it goes to the brother in Central Park, Mr. Cooper, who subsequently didn't press charges. It is weaponizing. It is also why, this whole debate over critical race theory and blah 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 is a thing, because if you don't teach this country's real history, then you'll put that moment in right this moment and have no context of why white women's tears are dangerous, the history that it comes from. It's important to know Emmett Till. Because if you don't, you'll think, well, Central Park girl, why is that such a big deal? Because there's a history of Black people, primarily Black men, being murdered because of white women's tears. How many brothers have been accused of rape? And we've seen this play out. And I'm not saying it's a lot, but it's enough where white girl hooks up with a brother, but gets caught, family doesn't approve, and all of a sudden the brother raped her. That happens. That's a stain in a lot of ways, because it discredits, it takes credibility away from women who actually are sexual assaulted. This entire ruse, this entire fake panic attack takes credibility away from, like you said, those who actually are mentally ill and have an episode.
Right.
So this is bad all the way around. And it's like, not too long ago, I think it was about a month ago, there was some kind of crying challenge on TikTok for white women. Yep. You see how quickly they can devolve into some panic state, and it's all fake. And they thought this was funny, and not understanding the real life ramifications that could have. And it's like, you go back to certain other very interesting numbers. I'll say interesting because I'm trying to be relatively objective. Trump got a higher percentage of the white woman's vote last election. Do with that information what you will, but that's a very interesting thing to me. Mr. Grab him by the, vagina, and I say so lightly, and openly has some sexist tendencies, some very weird tendencies, if you ever heard the statements he made about his daughter. But again, this is not a bash Trump thing. This is just look at what's out there right now. But more white women decide to vote for Trump this go round than last. So it's just scary. It's just scary. And I don't know how the brothers who have a lot of white friends do it, because of my upbringing, Buffalo being segregated is all get out. I never was the one Black kid, because there's a lot of folks I know, excuse me, that was the one Black person and all their friends are white. It happens. Depending on where you go, depending on your walks life, it's happened. But it's like, do you know the imminent danger you could be in? Now was a lot different. I was coming up in the 80s, that just wasn't really the thing to be. Now it's a lot different. Interracial marriages, produce biracial children, so on and so forth. So now it's a lot different. But nonetheless, if you're a Black guy with a white girlfriend and something goes wrong, that could turn deadly. This is not me knocking interracial relationships at all, but this is me saying that's another layer of concern. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you told me you had a white girlfriend, I'm like, cool. On the one end, I'm very happy you met somebody that you found compatible, so on and so forth. But as a parent, every time you tell me you're going out somewhere with her, I'm gonna worry, because I don't know her temperament. And I know if y'all get into a fight and cops are called, you might not walk away. And some people, oh, that's not possible. It's very possible. And that's scary. And circling back to where we started, this lady um is problematic. And it shows in a nutshell, everybody ain't altruistic as we think. Because the fact that you can stage this entire thing means you know what you're doing. You go back to the brother in Central Park with the dog. She damn near strangled the dog to try to, I'm gonna tell everyone you attacked me and blah blah blah. You know what you're doing, and that's a problem. That's I don't know if any charges can come of it, and I don't know where this goes from here, but I'm glad it was documented. And it's just again, there's a section of white people who think we're exaggerating, we're making things up, where everything is not about race. Would she have done it if there's another white woman attacked her?
Nope.
Just saying. Before you go and say, well, this isn't about race, you make everything about race. Okay, remove the race and ask, does it play out the same way? No. All right. We're gonna shift to really cool white women. My Hollywood bae, one of my favorite people in Hollywood, Scarlett Johansson. Marvel Studios finally, after the pandemic, has brought us Black Widow. Went to see it last weekend. For my taste, a little bit of disappointment. I gave it 2.5 scoops out of 5. Mildly entertaining, but it's like when back we used to have, regular music videos and things like that. The artists would drop like 2-3 singles off the album, and those would be the dopest songs on there. And be like, what the hell? Same thing. All the action was in the trailers we saw. I didn't find it to have enough action. I thought Red Guardian was well underutilized. The few fights we did get, the fight choreography was A1. I will give, credit. Fight choreography in general seems to be better. The fight choreography in Mortal Kombat, where Sub-Zero and Scorpion was fighting, dope. Fight choreography in this one, when Black Widow fought her sister, dope. But overall, it wasn't enough. And the final fight was lame. And the big reveal of Taskmaster, also lame. And the end credit scene, the whole movie to me was meh. Whereas, because we knew this was going to be a one-off, right? It's a one-off movie because we all know, sadly, Natasha died in Endgame. So it reminds me kind of Rogue One. Rogue One was a great one-off movie. This was just meh. Like, basically, if they didn't make it, I'm not missing anything. But your thoughts?
I gave it a 3.0. It was an okay movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I don't know what the hell you talking about, not enough action. Most of the movie was action, but okay. Now, if you talking about, I agree with you on the ending, the last villain, like Taskmaster was trash. And I'm not saying that because they switched the gender of him, because I don't mind that they changed it to a female. It's just that we barely got to see her fight. Like, it was just a few sequences, and then the last fight that we thought we was going to get, like the trailer showed, we didn't get it. They didn't fight. It was basically Black Widow just being like, I don't want to fight you, and then she just be like, oh, okay. like the fight I wanted to see didn't happen, or basically happened in the beginning of the movie, and it was short lived, and then the rest, she was running when she was with her sisters. They were running from Taskmaster. And in the end, they jump out of the building, floating building. We thought they was going to fight when they landed. Didn't happen. So that's my complaint. Like, the villain was trash. I don't really care about Red Guardian?
Yeah. You basically got Russian Captain America and did nothing with it.
I mean, I didn't really care. He's not the main villain. It's like, he was there for emotional support and to progress the story. So I don't really mind him not really fighting like that. But it's just the main villain was trash, man. That's like, Most Marvel
That's
movies that are good have great villains. Black Panther, Ragnarok, Civil War, not well, Civil War kind of, but yeah. Infinity
oh,
War, Endgame, all that. They all have the great Marvel movies have great villains, and this villain was a major, major letdown. But other than that, it was just an average movie. Like I said, it's not worth seeing IMAX. You would probably want to go see this on Tuesday or Wednesday. But I mean, it was just all right. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't great to me.
you basically had Captain America and you did nothing with it. You could have had more fight scene. I'd rather seen that more fight scene with Captain America. The whole now it is not lost to me for those of us who read in between the lines. You know, dude was pretty much if you're reading in between the lines a little bit, it was the tinge of sex trafficking and not taking care of our girls wrapped up in there. So I got that part. I got that message. I didn't mind it. Because I know some people just absolutely hate anything political. It wasn't overtly political as Purge. Like I said, I went to see the Purge, the most recent Forever Purge, and it was one really long pro Biden anti Trump movie, if I'm being honest. Um, and like I said, that's probably my bad. I haven't seen the last few Purge movies, so my understanding is they all kind of had a political bend to them, some kind of social commentary. But this was bad. It was so bad. But back to Black Widow. I didn't mind that part, but it just wasn't enough. And I think it was exacerbated by the fact that it came out now. If it came out when it was supposed to, I don't think anyone would have minded as much. But we've been waiting for this for over a year. And I think Marvel, I told you this, Marvel, I want to be wrong, but I don't think I am so far. Marvel's going to find out just how special 2008 to 2018 was. I don't know if they're going to be able to recapture that magic.
Yeah, they will. If you've been watching
dude.
the shows, and what they're setting up for these next couple movies, oh, it's about to be off the chain. Because I just finished Loki yesterday,
I
so
haven't watched Loki yet.
and that was great. Like I said, they've gone 3 for 3 on the shows, and then if you include Netflix shows, then they're what, like 5 for 5, except for Iron
Yeah.
Fist. But yeah,
And Jessica Jones is wavy hand. Like, yeah,
I like
that was
Jessica
cool.
Jones. It wasn't
The
Daredevil, Punisher, or Black
Luke Cage,
Luke Cage,
right?
but yeah, I liked it.
I mean, it's. I'm sorry, the excitement is not there when you.
Yeah, it is.
It wasn't even a full
It's
theater went to see Black Widow. No, it's not. I am more on fire to see Snake Eyes than I am to see this new Ten Rings. Like,
okay, that movie, yes, I agree with you. No,
so you're all for
every
two. It's
every
Black Widow, and you got this Ten Rings, and both of them are like wavy hand.
you got the internals. What we're really waiting for
Same
is
thing.
We're really waiting for is Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Black Panther, and those
And
are
Blade.
being.
But we're
Oh
way
yeah,
down the line. And you
not
got to
really.
keep
That's
our
next
attention.
year. That's next year.
When is Blade is not 2022, is it?
I'm talking about Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. That's next year.
Okay. I mean, we're waiting on that, but this is, as you always say, this is microwave culture. You get forgotten quick. And you're all for two right now, Marvel Studios. Sorry. And these TV shows are cool, but they're shorts. Winter Soldier and Falcon, great. Yeah, what, 6 episodes, 7 episodes?
That's all they needed.
Marvel Studios got us used to $1 billion blockbusters. These TV shows are not $1 billion blockbusters. They're not. You keep giving us all these. Exactly. That's my point. Marvel Studios is a Marvel Studio. They are a movie making juggernaut. And your movies, the big things that pay the bread and butter, that the bread and butter, you're 0 for 2 right now. You're 0 for 2. Ever since pandemic, ever since you're 1 for 3. I'm sorry. Spider-Man did come after Endgame. So movies after Endgame, you're 1 for 3. Spider-Man, Black Widow, and in this 10 Rings. It looks like it's gonna have some great fight choreography, but I'm not on fire for that. And it doesn't feel connected to anything. And then honestly, I think we're gonna suffer. I told you, Marvel's relevance is gonna be, do we care at the time he was still alive? But I said, do we care what Tony Stark is doing in 2024? It's not. Yeah, TV shows. This is you almost suffering from oversaturation. Like it's almost too much, and it's not good. I guess it's oversaturation when it's not good. Because when you had the entire Marvel universe going on, MCU initially, phase 1 through 4, and you put, Daredevil and everything else with it, it didn't feel like oversaturation. And now I've never watched Agents of Shield, but you had MCU, Agents of Shield going, and you had Daredevil, blah 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 blah, all of that going, and it didn't feel like oversaturation because it was all good. But WandaVision, again, it seems like comic nerds really enjoyed it. I don't know if the casual fan did. I'm going to give it a watch. Loki, I've heard some good things about. I haven't started. The only show I really just sunk my teeth into was Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, and it seems like kind of like NBA, kind of like USA basketball. The rest of the world's caught up. The rest of the world's caught up because I'm more excited to see Snake Eyes. But yeah, Black Widow, 2.75. It could have been better. Villain was lame, which is a Marvel staple. You make these throwaway villains because Ultron should have been so much better. Throwaway villain. It's Red Skull, throwaway villain.
You ain't saying that. You don't want to rate Ultron as the second best villain after Thanos. What are you talking about?
Agreed. And he should have been. Ultron is so much more powerful than he was depicted in the movie.
So is a lot of villains that are more powerful. Thanos is more powerful, but it is what it is.
I mean, he had the Infinity Gauntlet. You couldn't have made him more powerful. He beat the shit out the Hulk in the first 5 minutes. We got it. They made it very clear. And that wasn't a throwaway villain. That was Thanos is, when you think MCU, you think Thanos. That is the villain. And we talked about that. I don't know where they go from here. Galactus? Where do you go from that?
Well, you'll find out. You'll find out when you watch Loki where they're going.
Okay, all right. Now for that alone, I'll watch it. But yeah, I gotta get on fire about it right now. I'm not on fire about Marvel. I'm just not. Black Widow, I waited and waited and waited. Love me some ScarJo. I think the yellow young lady that played her sister would be dope. But I don't necessarily know if I want to watch a her versus Hawkeye show. Like, yeah, okay, all right. And then last thing, this for the all right. They're doing it again. I said a few weeks ago, when you had Ghostface versus Raekwon the Chef on Versus, no one outside of the world's greatest city is gonna care. They've done it again. Next verse is gonna be Lox versus Dipset. No one outside New York is gonna care. I know this, but for those of us who appreciate real hip hop, this is gonna be fun. I got Lox though. I got Lox because I think from a production standpoint, Swiss versus Heatmaker is gonna cancel each other out. Now, Swiss has got more hits, as in more hits that people are gonna know. But if you know hip hop, Heatmaker's got just as many bangers. Heatmaker's got some bangers. That is the Cowboys offensive line from the 90s. I could have ran behind that line. They make anybody seem dope. They made Jim Jones seem dope before he actually became dope. So, but to that end, Dipset is Cam, Jewels, and Jim Jones versus the Lox, which is Styles, Jada, and Sheik. I got the Lox. I got the Lox here. Who you got?
I still don't know.
How you don't know? But all right. Because what member of the Lox and Jim Jones gonna outrhyme? I hope none.
Yeah, but it's not about lyrics. This ain't about lyrics. So this is hits versus hits. This is what Versus is about. It's hit versus hits. If you can have Soulja Boy versus Bow Wow, ain't no lyricism there.
Oh God!
It's hits versus hits.
You just made my head hurt with that. You're right.
No one outside of it. That was funny though. It was funny.
You watched that?
I seen clips of it. It was funny.
I couldn't. I couldn't. Like, maybe it's me, and I can't even say my northern bias. I am still stuck at, maybe this is an insider thing. I'm still stuck at why Soulja Boy matters. Like, what?
Dre, because he's a walking meme. That's why.
Right. I'll give you that. But what do you do? Oh gosh. No, I just nope. And excuse me. Right. Last but not least, we are in the midst of the NBA Finals. I was wrong, especially after last night. Currently, series tied up 2-2. I have Phoenix 4-1. I think a lot of people woke up this morning and having to rethink some things. Milwaukee might win this thing.
Maybe.
Because in order for Phoenix to win, you need that backcourt to both be on. And if they're not both on, you got a problem. But Orange Mamba, we talked about this before we started. Listen, in the same way, after a minute, it was undeniable watching Kobe and saying, yo, that is scary how much he's like Mike. Watching Booker last night, it's like Mamba incarnate. Like, I don't know if Vanessa watched the game, but she had to see her husband's influence. Like I said, the only thing left, I'm sure he's going to be in the weight room. You heard it here first. Do not be surprised if Booker, Orange Mamba, comes back next year like 10 pounds of muscle. Because, like, that's the only thing missing. Once you get to the point where you can't bully him, a rap. So, got to give it to him. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say Phoenix wins this only because Game 7 is in Phoenix. Your thoughts?
Shout out to the Orange Mamba. I should keep that nickname, man.
You should.
Giannis is just being Giannis. And my only issue with the Bucks was the coaching and with his others or second co-star show up. And last night, Middleton showed up. Dropped 40, was being clutch. Speaking of Kobe, he looked like Kobe in the clutch too. It looked like Kobe versus MJ. It was going back and forth. But the officiating was terrible last night.
Ooh, yeah, that's
terrible. These last couple games has been trash officiating wise. But luckily, it didn't affect the outcome of the game because they would have cost the Bucks the game if Devin Booker would have hit game winners or whatever, because he should have fouled out because he clearly fouled him with his fifth foul. But I digress. But yeah, I think I still got Phoenix. It's looking like it might be Phoenix in 7, which is cool, and I'll be happy with that. But I would not be surprised if the Greek Freak won his first title this year. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. And we can't, before anyone says it, you can't be any more mad at Giannis than you could at Kawhi's second title. Because I know, well, if not for injury, well, if not for Clay and Durant getting hurt, does Kawhi have that second title in Toronto? So we don't get to do that. We don't get to do that. You know, you play who's in front of you. Not his fault. Would that Brooklyn series been a lot more interesting if that big three was healthy? Yeah. But you can't. If you want to go that route, you can't take away Giannis's title any more than you could Kawhi's second title. And on the other side too, Phoenix has played some teams that have some injury issues as well. LeBron and AD weren't 100% when they played the Lakers, and I don't think they win that series if they are. But LeBron and AD weren't healthy, so there's that part. But yeah, modification. I still got Phoenix winning. It's just not going to be in 5. It's going to be in 7. And the only reason, because if Milwaukee had home court, I'd be going Milwaukee. Quite honestly, the way this is being played, the way the officiating is going, you get a lot of home cooking calls. So if Game 7 was in Milwaukee, I'd go Milwaukee. All right, run it back. Recap. Let's talk about it. Colorado, you understood the assignment. Thank you for the qualified immunity. And if it is true, if a pig turns off their body cam, none of that testimony counts. Awesome. I am so sorry that the gentleman was murdered by the pigs in Utah, and I'm even more sorry that nothing has been done about it. This is exactly why qualified immunity needs to end. I would be hopeful that no more bodies show up, air quotes, from the last couple of years, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff that's been sat on that we're just finding out about. Thanks for the warning, FDA. We appreciate it. Only 112 million. No worries there. Air quotes. And thank you, Juvie, for reminding us all to vax that thing up. Thank you, Karens, for Karening on camera. You are shaking your own credibility, and the world is seeing that you can just turn on the waterworks at a heartbeat, and yeah, that's going to carry its own set of issues. Um, Gosh, thank you, Marvel, for showing me that it's going to be a while until I got something from you guys to look forward to. Still taking the locks over Dipset. Just yeah, locks over Dipset. Not a huge deal. Taking locks over Dipset. And lastly, I've still got Phoenix. Just got Phoenix in 7. Sir, your recap.
Shout out to Colorado. Light a joint for me, baby. Smoking and riding. All right. So unfortunate that the young caucus male had to be killed, but sadly, we're gonna find out to see if there's many more that's been happening that are not being reported on that happened years ago, as usual. But hopefully they'll all be held accountable. Um, 20 plus years selling Johnson and Johnson. Yeah. Shout out to him. Backs that thing up. You should definitely do that. Yep. Pfizer game, baby. Uh Karen's being Karen's. I don't care. Yeah. Uh Black Widow, give it a 3.0. Just an average movie, not bad, not great, just average. Div Severs Locks, I still don't know. Because the beats are crazy. I might edge towards Dipset if we're just doing hit for hit, but I never heard a weak Heat Makers beat, and I never heard a whack Swiss beat. So it's just yeah, like you said, it might be the battle of lyricism because they gonna have people jumping in their seats when they start playing a couple songs that we all grew up listening to. And I got the Suns in 7 too, but I would not be surprised if the Bucks pull it out in 7, especially if Middleton plays like Shaq and Kobe, because Giannis is basically already playing like Shaq. So
Yeah.
if Middleton shows up like he does that last game, then yeah, that might be Bucks in 7 to be honest with you. But yeah.
Hmm. All right. As always, want to end it off the same way. Thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you have not, subscribe, like, share, get the word out. You know what I mean? We love doing this thing for you guys. Love the interaction, the comment section. Let's talk about it. But same bad time, same bad channel. From the year I say the podcast. Peace.
Yeah.